Hi, everyone. Welcome to our very first CK Productions podcast.
Hello.
We are your hosts, Joe
Brian.
Brandon.
Courtney.
and Courtney. And
Courtney.
Brian and Brandon are joining us today. And we have some awesome stuff rolled out for you. And because the reason why I wanted to do this is since we can't meet up to make videos for you all, we decided the best course of action would be to just set up an awesome podcast for you guys to listen to.
Yeah, given obvious recent events of banana peppers falling out of the windshields, we can't actually go outside. So we're indoors and safe from the banana peppers, and we are here.
Yeah, and I couldn't be happier because I'm super shy and super antisocial, and I hate going outside.
I mean, that's true, but it's fine. No judgment.
That sounds like me. But yeah, so since we can't go out and record any Logics, we decided that we would stay inside and record not Logic. So now we're making our own little podcast, of just kind of us hanging around talking about some stuff.
I'm just here.
Courtney's just here. Yeah. But how are you guys doing, Brian and Joe? It's been a hot minute, and by that I mean it's been 2 days. How have you guys? And Brian, it's been a few hours. So how have you guys been?
I've honestly been fine. Right now, I'm just chilling at my apartment, playing some Persona 5 Royal, and it's super fun. I highly recommend you guys play it if you ever pick up a PlayStation.
Which PlayStation?
4, the most recent one.
Ah, okay. I have one of those. So
I picked one up
now.
before, but I don't have
That's
one.
fair.
Ah.
Did you put it down?
I put it down, and then I
Oh,
didn't.
well, that's why
I mean,
you don't
it's
have
definitely
one
a
anymore.
fun
You
game
have
if
to
you're
put it
into
down.
really good storytelling and Japanese roleplay video game elements. But what about you guys? What are some games that you guys have been playing?
Animal Crossing.
Yeah,
I've been playing tons of Animal Crossing the last couple of weeks, and it's actually been very great.
I play
It's really
Overwatch
been
like a
good
nerd.
way to spend the time being inside, and basically my day consists of kind of just working all day and then playing a bunch of Animal Crossing. Honestly, afterwards, it's pretty
Nice.
great.
That's
pretty
me.
great.
Same.
That's me, but
Yeah.
with Overwatch. I work all day and play Overwatch because Brian and I are the unlucky people. Well, I guess we're lucky because we still have jobs, but Brian and I are still working. We're actually working from home. We have different jobs. We don't work at the
I'm
same
still
company or
working.
anything. But Courtney's still working as well, but she doesn't.
You
get to work
realize
from
that
home.
we're all actually
I'm
working
an
from
essential
home, right?
worker. No, I'm not. I'm an essential worker, and I get to go outside into the world where the banana peppers are falling from the windshields,
Yeah.
and I have to get attacked.
Yeah, she doesn't get to. She can't fix animals from home, so she has to go to work to fix animals.
Yikes.
And I'm non-essential, so I have to stay at home.
Yeah, I'm non-essential as
Yeah.
well, but to my company I am, so that's why I work from home.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, my job basically hasn't changed at all. We're just
Yeah.
basically all at home. But like, honestly, there's been almost more work these couple.
I feel like that's like across the board because
Yeah,
even my
I've
brother
seen
at
that.
college,
Yeah.
his college university professors also have been assigning him a ton of work to the point that like he's
Yeah.
even more bogged down because he's getting double, triple the amount of work because the professors are thinking, oh, now that you're home, you get all the work you need and you don't have to worry about transitioning to classes. So
Yeah. See, my work is just really busy at this time, just from like different things from where the company's going and stuff like that. But it's actually funny. Before everybody had to get all locked down or whatever, I actually ended up going to my office and taking my work computer and my 3 monitors home with me, and it's all set up on my dining room table. So I'm just kind of like in the middle of the house working while like the rest of the house. And I live with I have roommates and they have a child, so there's a 2-year-old running the house in the middle of the day while I'm sitting here like trying
Very
to get
nice.
work done and stuff. So you know, it's hard at some points because it can get really loud and I'm just trying to like concentrate, but you know, it's not bad. I get my time alone during nap time and stuff, so it's really
My
not
work
that big of a
has
problem.
pretty much been the same, like productivity-wise, but the way that it's changed the most is the way that we run everything. Like, we can't have people coming in, so we have to go outside and get the patients and then come inside with the patients and like wear masks and gloves and handle like payments differently. And also just the way that people are like perceiving the virus
How
is
so?
kind of cray-cray, because some people just like don't understand it and some people don't
Oh my
even know
god!
that it's
I was
happening.
just talking.
I actually had.
I just heard the craziest story where there's people still trying to hold like parties and baby showers and stuff amidst all of this virus outbreak, and it's like, guys, stay home, wash your hands, don't overbite.
And sing happy birthday
I mean,
twice.
dude, these banana peppers, man, you gotta be really careful with them. I mean, they can seriously hurt you and everything else that you love. So, don't eat banana peppers.
Yeah, they're so hot.
I
and
had
spicy.
I had some guy actually like. So we've been like locking our front door just so people don't just barge right in because
I mean, that's usually how
people
allowing people in
and,
places works. If you lock your door, they're not allowed in.
Yeah, well, so some guy, like, knocked on our door and was like, hey, why aren't you letting me in? And we were like, hey, there's a sign on our door saying why. And he goes, what is coronavirus?
Oh my gosh.
And I went, what? And he goes, what are you talking about? What is this? And we were like, well, I don't know what to do in this situation.
Well, you see,
like, do I explain what this is, or like, do do I need to sit down with you?
yeah, it's like, oh, why can't I walk into Taco Bell, or like, why is the mall been closed for 2 weeks? What's going on? These lazy workers don't go to work anymore. Like,
it's just very weird to see how people are reacting.
Hey,
where did all the people go?
Find my keys. Why are all the people gone?
It's problematic, but I don't know. We're getting through it. All of us and all of our family and friends have been healthy and stuff like that. So we're getting through it. There's banana peppers, man. You got to watch out for them. But I think in the long run, it'll end up working out.
It's been a good opportunity. I've kind of used this, and a lot of people I know have done this. It's been a good opportunity to like kind of learn, some new hobbies and skills and stuff.
Yeah.
And kind of refine, some other things. Like I've been doing a lot of, visual effects training and motion graphic training and Cinema 4D training. Hopefully to incorporate that into future videos. And
so you get to look at my face more often, Brian. I see how this works.
Yeah. It's just, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. But, incorporating that into CK stuff and then work stuff and just stuff overall, honestly.
Yeah,
very nice.
It's really there's so much more time because like you figure out on a normal work day you might spend 20-40 minutes driving to work, so that's like an hour and 20 minutes or no? Is that
it
math?
takes me 5 seconds to get to work.
Yeah, it's like there's so much extra time and you can use it a lot better now. But
I mean, definitely for me,
just
even on this. What's that? I'm sorry, Courtney.
I put my Halloween lights back up in my room.
Yeah,
so that's what I did with my time.
We had them around the window of the house, and then now that it's no longer Halloween, she put them up hanging in our room. It's pretty cool.
I needed something to do today.
My mom the other day sent me fuse beads, but they're all Super Mario Brothers 3 themed. So now I'm actually designing like 8-bit characters.
Oh, cool.
So like I just did like a Boo today, and I'll probably do a Mario tomorrow.
Wait, are those little beads that you would like press and put in the oven, or not press? You press them and like iron them out or something.
So you get this pip board, and then you take these little beads and you place down your design where you make sure that it all follows the same set pattern. Then you cover it with either wax paper or some sort of heat resistant paper. And then you get a hot iron, and then you rub it on, make sure that it's nice and hot, medium temperature, and making sure that it fuses together by like ironing it, let it cool, flip to the other side, coat it with the paper, iron again. And then once it all fuses, you have some really cool designs. So you can use them for like coasters or tree ornaments. I also saw people at like conventions, they would design a full-on statue similar to like how you'd have amiibos and stuff, but it would be a 2D-ish image of something you really like in fuse bead format.
Yeah, I remember those when I was like 6.
Hey, you know what? It's fun. And when
I don't
you're
remember
locked
them
in
at all.
an apartment and all you have to talk to is a house plant, you gotta find something to do.
You literally 5 minutes before the start had told us your girlfriend was over, so I don't want to hear about unless you're calling her a houseplant, Joe.
Well, no, I'm saying yes, she's visiting, but she doesn't live here.
No, I know. I'm just busting your chops.
Yeah,
and I think they've been busted.
Yeah.
Yada yada.
But yeah, so. Anyways,
Enough about this banana pepper.
Banana peppers. So, what are some games you guys are looking forward to coming out and whatnot? I know.
Nothing else. My world is so revolving.
Yeah, my
Crossing.
world is complete with Animal Crossing.
Yeah, you're like the games I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to coming out have come out already, and it's one game, and it's Animal Crossing.
That's it.
Yep.
That's basically it.
Yep. Yeah, these two.
I mean,
Oh, I want to tell you guys a story
What's
from
that?
last night. So, I'm on my computer playing Overwatch, and Courtney is in the living room, which is right next to the dining room. They like connect. It's like one big room, and she's over there on Animal Crossing on the big TV, and I look over and she's got like a ton of people. I'm like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, I have this recipe that not a lot of people have to make a purse out of flower petals." Or cherry blossoms. She's like, so I have this recipe, and
Interesting.
she posted on a Facebook group saying she has this recipe. So people were just randomly coming to her island so she can make them a purse with the
Whoa.
Yeah.
Can I come to your island?
Do you
Yeah.
want that purse? I'm sure.
Well,
of
Hannah would
course.
probably want it.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah. So let her
I like
know about it too.
I like the egg dresses and egg hats you can make.
Ew.
You like the egg dresses, Brian?
No.
Do you
The
like
egg
wearing
dresses,
them?
the Easter egg dresses.
they make
you feel
Bunny
pretty?
Day.
I don't like the bunny stuff. I like the cherry
don't like the
blossom
bunny
stuff.
stuff?
No, the
I like
cherry
the cherry
blossom
blossom.
stuff
It's
is
very, very
beautiful.
pleasing.
Do you have any of it?
Yeah,
What
totally.
do you have cherry blossom wise?
Cherry blossoms.
Oh my gosh.
I think she meant recipes and stuff.
Oh no, I have the picnic, but I have.
Yeah.
I just have that, but I have a bunch of the egg stuff.
Yeah, I only have the cherry blossom purse.
But yeah, she
That's the
legit.
thing that people were
Wow,
literally
that's
just
intense.
They
like,
were legit just like coming over, like she'd post on the page saying, "Okay, it's open, come," and people would come. They'd hand her cherry blossom. She'd make the purse, drop it on the ground, and they would say thank you and leave.
yeah. I had
That's so
probably
funny.
like 6 or 7
For
people
no
at
money
one point.
either. It was like you could have charged so many bells for
You
this
should have
service.
totally charged them bells.
I
It'd
know.
be like I don't know the economy of Animal Crossing, but you could have been like, oh, 100 bells, and I'll make this thing for
Well,
you.
it was funny at one point. One girl was like, "Oh, can you make me a purse and I'll like trade you another cherry blossom thing?" So I got a cherry blossom bonsai tree, and then I
Huh.
went over to her island. And I got stung by a wasp earlier, so she gave me medicine too. And I was like, "Oh, you're so sweet."
It's the most wholesome game. If this was literally any other game, someone would just take your stuff and just run and like kick you off
Honestly,
the island.
If you are on a Facebook group and you like are into Animal Crossing, go to a Facebook group. You can find so many people that are so into Animal Crossing that will help you with anything and everything. They're so nice.
Huh.
The group is just like,
I love that.
I love it so much. And
Yeah.
I've met so many people through it. It's
I
great.
approve.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I should check that out. Yeah, and y'all should check that out too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, crossing of
Friends.
animals.
Woo!
Anyways,
So one other thing I've been doing kind of on this time that we've had, kind of stuck at home and stuff like that, I've been kind of, going back and looking at some old CK stuff and
You know,
kind of
me too. Actually, it was kind of
thinking
funny.
about, yeah.
Like,
It's been kind of cool to go down memory lane and see where, we came from. And I think that'd be kind of a cool thing to talk about on this podcast here.
yeah. So
Talk about kind of where some of our ideas came from and how the channel started and where it grew from and where we see ourselves going from here.
yeah,
Sure.
let's talk about that.
Cool.
Wrong podcast.
So Joe, you wanna start it off?
I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Once upon a time, there was a silly snake named Joe. He's a slippery,
no.
silly snake.
So, long story extremely short, I kind of had a very.
We have a YouTube channel. Long story short.
Okay,
we
that's
make
like
a
the world.
YouTube
And
That's
that was
oversimplified short. And
That's the
scene into
TLDR.
podcast. So
Click done. That's a wrap.
I stopped hitting. I stopped recording.
Brian, don't.
I
Don't.
didn't.
I deleted the channel.
Ugh. How to give Joe an aneurysm 101. Do that. Anyway,
It is not a tumor.
it's not tumor. Anyway,
All right, go.
it started where I was coming from a not so awesome situation where I was kind of alone in my own education and trying to find some new grounds. I transferred to a different school, and met a good round of people, but one of them I met was Brian, and I just was talking to him, and I thought he was a pretty chill dude. And I just remember I looked him square in the eyes, just looked at him and just said, "Hey, you, Brian." And you're like, "What? What?" I'm like, "Brian, look at me. We're friends now." And he's like, "What do you mean?" Like, "We're going over here to this lunch table. We're friends now." And pretty much that's just how our friendship started, of just hanging out, just doing stuff. And then my sister was at the high school at the time. And at the high school, there was this TV program. It was like weekly news where instead of having announcements, our school had a broadcast that they would do every week where they would feature different clubs and talk about other programs that are coming up, interview different teachers or students with different clubs or accolades or anything that's going on. And then there'd be this small segment called the Dude Report, where essentially the main producer of the TV program would hand two guys a camera, and those two guys would have to come up with their own skits, like on SNL where they have the pre-recorded bits for transitioning between one topic to the next. It was the same exact principle where they essentially would hand two guys a camera and say, "Go do something funny." So I turned to Brian and I'm like, "Hey, my sister was telling me about this really cool program idea. Do you want to join in?" Because I had a pretty fun theater background, and I found out, Brian, you had a really big editing background at the time now.
Well, actually, you know what? It's kind of meeting you sort of was the reason I got into filmmaking and what I'm doing is because it's always been something I was interested in, but I never had like a group or people to really, you know, make skits with and stuff. I would just kind of fiddle around with like Windows Movie Maker back in the time and just
did you record it on your iPhone?
Like you remember those weird YouTube poops back in the day?
Oh, dude, those were the best.
I would sit down in my room and just like make a bunch of those weird things, taking like the old Mario clips from like the CDI games and dubbing them into and stuff. Like honestly, I don't know, it was kind of fun and it was kind of weird, and I would always try to figure out how people made the effects in their videos and stuff. But I never actually got to the point where I actually made videos with people. Just kind of like did it on my own. And I would make my own like little videos with my dog at the time too and stuff. Sure. So yeah, it was fun. And I remember actually our very first video that we did it wasn't like a CK video. It was actually a video for our 9th grade English class for Les Miserables.
So
remember
awesome.
that video for the book, and I don't know. At the time, it turned out so good, and we had such a fun time doing it. I got hooked, and that's something I really wanted to pursue more, do more, you know, video projects, editing projects. We did a few more for like the school, and then we ended up, you know, branching off and kind of doing our own thing. And eventually, we came up with the channel, and you'll see kind of the first videos on there, like TV Madness and the Green Screen.
Oh, they were the
Madness,
best. Those are like the videos that, like, like, I still feel like I invite you guys to my wedding that'll eventually happen at some point in the very near or far future because it's me. I feel like someone will just pull those up and go, "Hey, you remember when CKProductions quality was this?" And they show like TV Madness with the awful grainy video quality.
Because we were filming with like a standard definition camcorder back then.
We should go back to that.
Like square.
We should go back to that.
Stuff. We should go back to that. Honestly. I don't know. People like honestly like people getting into film have it so easy now because of all, you know, every camera has HD and every camera has
freaking
like,
phone cameras nowadays are way better than like
it's
it's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
But like back then, that's all we had, and honestly, I think like for what we had, I think we did a great job.
Oh my goodness, absolutely.
A lot of people were impressed. Like a lot of people our age and a lot of people we showed it to were impressed at the time, and it was cool and it was fun, and it showed that we kind of had a knack for it, so we kind of kept it going. And
quite
a lot of interests that we had were like Nintendo and video games and stuff, and you know, it might be fun if we kind of acted out some of our favorite scenes that we wanted to do. Sounds super nerdy and geeky, like, you know, and weird and, you know, everything, but honestly, it was great. I had such a great time, and I still have such a great time doing it.
And that kind of really brings us into our modern era, because we started off by just doing our own thing, but then it wasn't until freshman year of college, I remember when you used to go to Ithaca, you had this awesome video of Pokemon logic of just breaking down the game and all the weird components to it. And then I remember reading, there was this one YouTube commenter who was like, hey, your video is super awesome, and we're gonna post it to the #1 Pokemon fan site. And I kid you not, that video went from 500 views to 1,000 views, and it still blows my mind that someone had the capability of just posting it and blowing it up.
Went from exactly. And then it went from 1,000 views to 30,000 views the next day. That was really the first time where we had a video kind of blow up very quickly like that. And I felt like it might be a good idea to kind of build off that momentum by. We did, logic in this one video game, but maybe we could do
Mario and Zelda and all of that.
Tons of stuff you can do with Zelda.
And that actually kind of brings us to where Brandon comes in, because we started doing a lot of those logical videos where essentially I'm like, all right, Brian, we got to strike while the iron's hot, and we were just cranking these out left and right. And then we bring in, I was thinking about some of my old improv friends, and I actually remembered Brandon. I remember he and I were talking, and Brandon, I kind of forget the conversation, but you were just like, yo, can I join or whatever?
Yeah, I think you were talking about doing filming and stuff, and that was when I was getting into video editing and stuff. I actually, since middle school, I've been doing YouTube just on a bunch of side channels, and I had a lot of interest in visual effects and filming. And Joe was like, "Hey, we're filming for my YouTube channel, and we do live action stuff." And I was like, "That sounds like fun because it's what I want to do." So I actually have old videos that are tucked away on private YouTube channels of things that I've messed around with and stuff. So I pretty much, Joe gave me the address, and I don't know if he even told Brian that I was coming.
Yeah, given the background of this, I didn't even know Brandon.
Yeah, Brian and I had no idea who each other were.
I knew Brandon's brother, but I didn't know that
he didn't know I existed.
Alex's brother had a little brother named Brandon.
And so Joe just kind of gave me the address, and I just showed up, and I was like, "Hi." I went up, knocked on the door. I was like, "Hi." And he goes, "Hello." And I was like, "Are you Brian?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I was like, oh, "Okay, I'm here to help shoot." And Joe wasn't here, by the way. Joe is notorious for being late.
Not anymore.
This 16-year-old scrawny kid walks into my living room,
stupid
and it's
hair.
just me and my dad sitting there, I'm just talking to him. I've never even seen him before, and then half an hour later, Joe shows up. And then we had a great time. The Zelda Logic video is honestly one of my favorite ones we have ever made.
It was so much fun to shoot. And even though I just stood in the corner and played that guy in the corner, I never thought standing in that corner that I'd end up being...
the best guy in the corner
I really was. But I never thought I'd end up being part of it more, let alone being considered one of the owners now and having a big role in it. So it's just crazy how things tend to work out.
And I mean, from there, obviously, we had some really good success stories like the other Pokemon ones, and obviously the Super Mario Logic real life one that has 23 million views. Joe has a funny story
don't even
with
get
that
me
one.
started.
For sure,
so when we went to go record that video, we had the opportunity to we tried to get more people involved, but it was just a handful of us on that shoot that day. And Brian just looks at me and he goes, "Look, no one else is showing up, dude, and I am not putting on a pink dress." And I'm just like, all right, you know what? I'll do it as long as this video doesn't get popular. And I still vividly remember putting this dress on. It's skin tight. I'm already wearing the Mario costume underneath this pink dress. So it's already about to burst at the seams. And I just stare at Brian cold turkey and I just say, "Brian, I swear, if this video blows up and becomes our most popular video, I'm going to kill you." And to this day, I'm still plotting his death.
And I'm still alive.
Yeah, I gotta work on that.
The 23 million views later, I'm still alive. Maybe you should say that more often, Joe. Maybe we should put you in a dress more often. That's how we get the views.
I swear to God, if this gets viral, I will be sad.
See, because now with this whole lock-in in regards to the banana peppers falling out of windshields, I have more time to plot people's deaths.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Actually, speaking of having a lot more time, Brian, I found a $1,600 Adobe Creative Suite course currently it's a course, and it teaches you basically all the major programs like After Effects, Lightroom, Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, XD, Premiere Pro, like all of those. It's normally $1,600. Right now is on sale for $34.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's 8 courses, 537 lessons.
Let's do this!
I'm thinking about actually doing it in my spare time.
Yeah, maybe you can help me edit some videos.
Yeah, because I know how to do all the After Effects and the Premiere stuff, but it's like the Photoshop stuff that I don't.
Do it.
Don't learn InDesign. InDesign is terrible.
Oh, I know.
InDesign.
I really just want to learn Photoshop more because I use After Effects.
Photoshop's really neat. But it's so funny. I do most of my Photoshop work in After Effects.
I do the same thing.
Know it so well.
But I just figured if I were to learn Photoshop and I actually like took the time, I'm sure it wouldn't be like.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'd be a lot better. It's more suited for it. It's just I already know how to do it all in After Effects.
Yeah.
But
it's funny.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I mean, it's $34. So if I don't like it, it's $34. It's not $1,600.
Exactly. That's crazy.
97% off. I might end up doing that just in my spare time. But anyways, back to the conversation. Someone said something about doing something in their spare time.
Well, speaking of you getting involved, Brandon, honestly, it was honestly the Epic project where you really got very involved, and that was kind of our first time that we did shoots with kind of a full crew and a full script and everything. And it was a cool experience because we did it's the first time we really worked with fight scenes. And we worked with a variety of different locations there, and a variety of different new equipment too. And Epic Project's something I look back and fondly on, honestly. Even though it doesn't have a ton of views, it really was kind of cool to do at the time.
Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't. As a channel, we don't really try to go after the views. We make stuff that we like, and the Epic Project was a big milestone for us, regardless of how many views it got. It was the first big production we did. We had a ton of planning, massive script, big amount of people in it. So it was honestly probably one of all of our favorite things to film and edit. And I really want to do another action thing like that because that was really fun to make.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not entirely sure if all the viewers watching this have seen the Epic Project or remember what the Epic Project is, but it's basically kind of an action comedy series that we did way back in the summer of I think 2013.
Yeah.
Now, and it was one of our first original series, and it's kind of funny. The title Epic Project came from Joe. You'll find this one funny. The title Epic Project came from it. That wasn't the original title of the series itself. When Joe gave me the script to it, he just wrote our
Epic Story or something,
our Epic Story on it, and he's just like, "Oh, I'm going to change the title later." And then eventually we came to the part where we had filmed everything and everything was ready to go. I'm like, "Joe, what's the title of this?" And he's just like, "I don't know." I'm just like, "Well, maybe we just call it the Epic Project because that's what we've been calling it the whole time."
It worked, and it stuck.
And it worked, and it stuck, and I don't know.
I love the name of it, because it was epic, and it was a big project, and it was something unique. It wasn't just bad guys with guns and superpowers. It was
bad guys with guns and superpowers!
Yeah! Cool. But yeah, it was like an actual real thing,
Yeah, and I think honestly doing that kind of, was the catalyst to a lot of new, a lot of cool videos at the time. Like that other Harry Potter Wandle that we did, and the Super Smash Brothers Logic thing that we did that summer. And that spawned also the Dragon Ball Z Logics too.
Brandon, you still owe us $8, by the way.
You still owe us.
I don't owe you anything. I paid my debts to society.
Right.
You need to hand that in.
I don't believe you.
Okay. I'll see you in court.
Oh gosh.
Kangaroo court. Am I right? Heyo.
Kangaroo court.
Yeah, you never heard of that?
Did you say kangaroo court?
Yes, kangaroo court is an actual term.
What are you talking?
Interesting. Well, I'll just give you a check. Let's just hope it doesn't bounce. Okay, I'll leave now. Bye, guys. I'm just kidding.
Oh, childish Brandino.
So and then honestly, from all of that, we headed on to Millennium, and Millennium that was something. I don't know how many people watching this have seen Millennium, but that was the original Zelda-inspired movie that we did. And it is a movie. It is a full-length, feature-length movie that we put together in one summer, which is actually pretty impressive, honestly.
I agree. It was a lot of fun to shoot because we kind of expanded our grounds in terms of our film locations.
Yes.
For instance, this was at the time when Joe was going to college at Temple, so we actually went to his dorm room in Temple and we filmed there, which was really fun. And
it wasn't like your typical dorm room where it was like this small, 2-room thing with like a kitchen or something. It was like this massive, huge,
it was
apartment
like
complex.
Pretty much.
So
I think that's what
really
it was.
Cool place to film. Yeah.
And it was really neat, and it had like these long open hallways we can film in and stuff like that, which was a lot of fun. It's also when we experimented with different parks in the area, like the one with the big lake. And
and Joe, it was really kind of your idea. This came from in the first place. Where did you kind of come up with the idea of Millennium, and where did it go from there?
I had a dream where I was playing Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, probably my most favorite video game of all time. And I just imagined I was playing the game, but instead of a bow, Link just pulls out a handgun and just starts shooting everything. Just, and I'm like, oh my god, that's hilarious. I wake up and I go, that'd actually be kind of an interesting premise, Link in modern era. So then I started hashing out an idea here and there of, like, what would it be like if, Link was, like, the constant classical tale of Legend of Zelda was set in a modern era. And it kind of just took off as one of those things where I call up Brian and I'm like, hey, Brian, I have this idea. And he's like, all right, cool. What's the idea? I was thinking of doing this little mini thing called Millennium where it's, you have Link and he's got a gun instead of a bow and arrow and he's doing all these cool action things. And Brian's like, oh, cool, great. I'm like, yeah, I don't know how long it's going to be. And Brian's like, what do you think? Maybe 20 minutes. And I read over the script and I look at him cold turkey once again and I just go, an hour. And Brian's like, yeah, wait, an hour? I'm like, yes, Brian.
Yep.
An hour. 1 hour.
Yeah.
He's like,
one whole singular.
And then I was just like, you know what? We can handle that.
And we did.
And we did. We handled
it. It was something.
But I think what's like most impressive is that we tried to break it up part by part. And each of those parts, what, Brandon? When you looked at the analytics the other day,
they're like,
it was
I think like 10 to 15 minute parts each, I think.
Yeah, and the analytics show that each had, I think the most had maybe 49,000, maybe 50,000 views on it. But the actual movie itself had 250,000 views. Mm-hmm. Like, all the way through. Yeah. Watched the entire movie.
Yeah, go figure.
I'm just like, well, wow, okay. Wasn't imagining that. And that was definitely a bigger moment of everybody stepping their game up. I don't want to toot my own horn, but definitely like the script writing, the cinematography, directing from both Brian's and my ends, just Brandon's abilities of just, like, I know it sounds very cliche, but just as a crew member and helping us out with all of the different behind the scenes stuff was huge.
That's why I make a really good lackey.
Hey, dude, you're a head executive lackey. Best lackey ever. And I really want to try to push myself with acting in regards to both playing a heroic part and a villainous part. And it kind of led into some of our better projects in regards to things like Punch-Out Logic, where I played everybody. Mm-hmm. I wanted to cry, but it was awesome.
Yeah, that was kind of the impetus of you playing like multiple characters in each video, because if you look at all the videos from there, you've got stuff like the Punch-Out stuff, you have the power-up logic in real life where there's 5 different Marios sitting down and stuff. It's really cool. Like, that was another one of those series that spawned a lot of cool ideas afterwards, like the Animal Crossing video, the Mario Party, and we have even the Portal film that I ended up doing. You guys weren't involved with that, but I ended up doing that with some crew members from DeSales who were involved in a lot of CK shoots up there, and that was a really cool experience because that was an opportunity where we got to really work with a whole like TV studio from scratch. And
Oh,
we got
dude,
to build
we
all
had
the
some
sets.
really cool videos. I mean, between that and the Super Smash Brothers,
Oh, yeah.
was super cool.
Like the Super Smash Brothers Madness stuff, like
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, definitely. Like, kind of just a lot of just these, you know, cool, action-packed, like comedy videos that we've been doing from like this era. Were really cool. Kind of this era of when we were, you know, finishing up college and just graduating college and stuff. And that was kind of around the same time where we joined Screenwave, and Brandon knows a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of when Brandon became sort of full-time on with us as well.
Yeah, basically, way back in the day, right after I graduated high school, I went and I was working at GameStop for 2 years after high school. And one day, somebody came in and we were just chatting, and I mentioned that I had a YouTube channel, and it turns out that the person I was talking to owned a YouTube network, which is basically just like a talent agency for YouTubers, and they were local. And I was just like, oh, I'm a part of this channel, I help them film and stuff, and I give them the name. And then from there, it ended up being we ended up going to dinner with the president of the network and two other people that worked for him. And we ended up signing with this network, and they would allow us to come in and use their studios for like no charge. They would let us use audio assets that they had and all this other benefits. And then because we were in their studio, like filming there, I was talking to the vice president, and she was like, I mean, we have positions open. So I ended up going from GameStop to working for this network, and from there, I ended up getting a lot of certifications in YouTube. And a lot of people don't know that there are certifications in YouTube, but there actually are, and there are a good amount of them. And I have 4 different certifications in YouTube. So kind of around that time, Brian and Joe were talking, the 3 of us were talking, and they were like, hey, we want to get you up to our level in terms of the channel and make you like an official like owner, because I was helping them out with pretty much every project beforehand, and we were already in a group chat talking about all the ideas and everything, and I was like, yeah, of course, I'd love to do that. And then because of my job and having all the back end knowledge and stuff, I just kind of became the quote-unquote manager of the channel in terms of you know, all the YouTube stuff, like the getting it up on the channel, getting the optimization, you know, pretty much the entirety.
The downization.
Yeah, which is something we really didn't have at the time, and that kind of helped us all define sort of our roles, you know, going forward there, with, you know, Brandon doing most of the managing, you know, Joe kind of he's the main actor and he's the main scriptwriter a lot of the times, and I was, you know, focusing mostly on post-production and production. So
yeah, it was really what became like the trio of people that just had like all of the knowledge on how everything worked, and it ended up really working out. So but yeah, and ever since then, I mean, I still work at Screenwave, and it's really awesome because, you know, I get to learn a lot, and I get to apply a lot of that stuff to the channel, and, you know, the benefits are awesome. I get to also talk to a lot of other creators. I'm sure you guys have seen some of our videos from conventions like Too Many Games. We actually have people like Gaijin Goomba and The Living Tombstone in our video because, you know, they were friends of mine from my job, and we asked if they wanted to be in the video. So it was really neat getting that position, because it really opened the door for us as creators to, you know, meet other people and expand our knowledge.
Because like before we got involved with them, we had never like gone to conventions or anything. But then that kind of opened their eyes into going them and, you know, meeting up with fans. And
yeah,
stuff,
we were like
and stuff.
We were solo for the longest time. It was just the 3 of us making our videos, uploading in our own little corner of YouTube, and then we discovered that friends exist, and from there it just kind of grew. And like Brian said, we never went to conventions, we never got to meet fans, we never got recognized. And the one time we went to Too Many Games, and it turns out someone drove all the way from Michigan just to meet us, and we were like all astonished. We were like, this is crazy, why would he do that? We're just people. Who are you? Like, why would he do this? That sounds ridiculous to me, because we're just like, we see ourselves as everyday normal people, and yet we have people that are willing to devote hours of driving time just to come say hi to us, which is awesome.
It's really, really cool.
It's
and
really
you guys, if any of you guys out there are watching this who have met us at conventions, or you know who you are, you guys are, you know, you guys are the best.
And even those that aren't watching or go to the conventions.
Exactly. Even those that haven't seen us conventions.
You guys
like,
drive
honestly,
the channel. I mean...
Yeah.
All your support, every every comment, everything that you do.
I mean, honestly, the people that sit in live streams too and interact with us during live streams,
absolutely,
like those people are awesome to talk to as well. And
yeah, I love the fact that people were making Super Mario Maker levels just for us too. Like
we actually ended up giving really cool. one of our live stream viewers a quote unquote job where we paid him an $8 yearly salary. We didn't actually pay him. It was all just jokes and stuff, but I mean, we live stream.
Yeah, exactly. So, sort of this era that it's kind of like our post-graduation till now is just, it's really kind of evolved in a lot of different ways. We did some more series, kind of like the Zelda Breath of the Wild logic series, and that which kind of spawned the sort of Link and Brandon aspect too, which ended up being a really
never
cool
thought
idea that
me would be a character. Like
exactly.
I wasn't playing a character. I was myself in those.
Exactly, yeah, and it just so happens that was something that caught on so well that we made a whole series out of it, and that's honestly been one of my favorite series that we've done in the past couple of years. And with that series led into the bigger series that we just recently did last year, Infinity War. And Joe, you can talk a little bit more about where that came from.
That was your baby.
Because that was your baby,
That was essentially just a culmination of everything that we wanted to do. And I still remember I was in Europe at the time, and I was having another dream, but I was just imagining like a collaboration crossover of Marvel characters and Super Smash Brothers characters all coming together, fighting over the different pieces of the Infinity Gauntlet. And I brought my laptop along just to type out the script idea. And one of the people on the tour was like, "Oh, Waluigi, he's been brought on as an assist trophy. What if he had all this cosmic power?" And I'm like, I just look at him. And Joe, if you're listening, he's also another fellow Joe. Joe, if you're listening, I still thank you for that idea, because, oh my gosh, I just took that idea and ran with it. And it turned into probably one of the greatest projects, anything that all of us on this channel have worked on, because we brought in a couple of other different actors who were friends of Brian's that really enhanced the channel. And I mean, bringing in Courtney, because she's also an awesome actress, just with that, and having all of that ability to work and collaborate and really work things through pushed us to make such an epic series. And I mean, it's still probably the icing on the cake in regards to something so great that I never imagined any of us pulling off. And it got to the point where, like, the timing was perfect, the actors were perfect, the camera work was perfect, the script writing was great, and just everybody we hired in to play all the different parts just rocked it. And essentially, it's probably my most favorite series, if not favorite videos that we have made. I feel that we have made on the channel that is pretty much the pinnacle of CKProductions lore. And I could not have asked for more thanks. I couldn't have asked for a better project, just between all the support from the fans, from you guys, from all of the other actors, from Matt, Holly, and Joe, and Tony, and Steph, and Brandon, and Brian, and Courtney, and the Piranha Plant stuffed animal.
Everybody.
Hi.
Did I miss anybody?
I think you got everybody.
Good, because it was amazing. It truly was amazing.
Yeah, it was just fun, playing off that quote-unquote CK cinematic universe, tying in a lot of the, characters from the past into this new series and stuff, and doing all those fight scenes in different locations was a fun thing. And you kind of mentioned it before, that was another project where Courtney got really involved, and through all this time, post-graduation and stuff. Courtney's gotten a lot more involved as well. And Courtney, I don't know if you want to talk about how you kind of got involved with the channel and stuff.
I basically got involved because I knew Joe a little bit after Brian knew Joe. I met Joe when I got into 7th grade in middle school, and we did a theater after-school program together. And then he went off to high school a couple years before me, and then he graduated before me, and then I kind of lost touch with him a little bit because life leads us different pathways. And then Brandon and I started dating, and Brandon, when he started helping out with the channel, said, "Hey, I have some friends doing this channel." And I asked, "Oh, who is it?" And he said, "Oh, you know who Joe is?" And I was like, "How the heck do you know Joe?" And I'm like, "Where did you meet him? I've known him since 7th grade." And he goes, "How do you know Joe?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh, okay." So obviously I was like, "Well, yeah, he's a good friend of mine." And then I met Brian, and I was like, "Oh God, Brian, ew."
Oh, gross. Ew, who's that person?
But you know, it's really nice to help out friends, and it's been fun to make new friends along the way.
Mm-hmm.
And
absolutely, yeah.
It is fun to hang out and do all these fun videos with everybody, and meet everybody, and do conventions, and it's a really cool thing to be a part of, even though it's weird
Well,
most
good,
of
because
the
you're
time.
fired.
Ooh, dang, mid-podcast.
You don't have that authority.
Yeah, I do. It says right here in my contract.
it's okay.
Sorry,
You'll be hired.
Brandon, but
For the people that can't see, I'm holding up nothing because there is no contract.
oh my gosh.
That kind of brings us to present day and in the future, honestly.
So I think at this point, I just feel that where we're going moving forward, just I think has some really good potential, and that I think with other minor stuff such as real life logics like we did with the handshake logic, and these podcasts.
Joe, we didn't do handshake logic.
Or not handshake logic, I'm sorry.
We did door
You
holding
gave it
and-
away.
Spoiler for those who are listening at the 48.5-minute mark or whatever this is. Just the we did Valentine's Day logic, and we did
door holding.
And so just other like taking it and moving forward with a lot of our own creative ideas on things we want to do, such as podcasts or
Yeah, we really wanted to move away from like games, or specifically kind of Nintendo. Not that there's any problem with it, and we know that a large part of our audience really likes that stuff. But you know, it gets stale after doing it for 7+ years, and we want to expand our own creative things and kind of like get our creative juices get our creative juices flowing a little bit more.
Our creative juices joeing.
Yes.
That's interesting.
I am fluing the Joses.
I mean, like don't get us wrong. Like obviously, you know, the Nintendo games and stuff will always be a part of our channel because it's something we're interested in. But we do have an interest in bringing you guys some new ideas for sure. Some of the stuff that's been on the back burner for a while, and some ideas that we've been cooking up for a long time.
And
whether
don't
it
get
has
me
to do with video
wrong,
games
it's
or
not
with
like we're
other stuff.
completely abandoning Nintendo logics.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Just mixing it in, giving some
Exactly.
old with the new, Just
Exactly.
having
Yep.
some new items on the menu.
Yeah, so it's like you can still expect Nintendo stuff from us, but we're gonna branch out and do a few things that we think would just be funny or stupid or whatever, just things that interest us aside from just doing Mario logic every 3 weeks. Or
obviously we're always interested to hear what you guys want to see from us, because you guys are so important to us, and you guys have helped us so much throughout this time, all the years, in helping us get past 100,000 subscribers, which we thought we'd never get to, but it's just been awesome.
Time after time.
So yeah, in the comments, guys, let us know what videos you guys would like to see. Also, if you have any questions for us during one of these podcasts, we can always answer questions from the comments, so leave those down below.
I'm sure we'll end up doing a few more of these podcasts going forward, and we'll definitely do kind of a question and answer session. If you guys want to have any questions for us about what we do with the channel, or some ideas that we've done in the past, or how we did a certain effect or something, go ahead and comment down below. We'd be happy to talk about it in one of these podcasts or in a future video.
Also, if you've made it to this point, go ahead and comment Lysol chicken in the comment section.
No context.
And,
absolutely no context. Just literally comment Lysol
Don't say
chicken.
why you're commenting that. Just comment Lysol
So that
chicken.
way we can see who actually got to this point in the
We
video.
know who the real fans are.
Not only did you watch an entire podcast or listen to an entire podcast, you also knew to comment down below.
Yeah, and we want to see who's actually listening to it and not clicking off after they see that it's a 50-plus minute video. Because I imagine that's going to happen a lot. I really don't expect these to get a ton of views, but it's something that we can do for fun and in the meantime while we can't, go outside and do the stuff that we normally do. So
Wash your hands.
wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Wash your
No
hands.
one
And
wants
even though-
banana peppers on your hands.
Yeah, and even though we're going to be kind of cooped up for the month of April, we are going to be releasing videos pretty much every week, whether or not it's going to be a podcast or kind of a culmination of video that we've done in the past, or some kind of stuff that's been on the back burner for a while.
We might even see about trying to do like some gameplays, like maybe like a Uno night or something like that, or
Maybe a
a live
dose.
stream. We could figure it out.
Yeah, maybe like a live stream coming up too, and obviously like more ideas if you guys want to see some more stuff on live streams. That's something we've been trying to implement more as well. So
let us know what you think.
Or just an hour video of my dog.
I'd watch
or
it.
just an hour video of a very adorable corgi.
Which is our dog.
I think at this point, with all these recommendations, I think now is a good time just to remind everybody also to check out the Patreon if you guys want to support us. Just
not necessary, but we always appreciate it.
It's not necessary, but it's a great way to express thanks, especially to help really up the quality of these videos and podcasts and everything else in between. Because it's nice to help out, because all the money on this channel goes back into the channel. We don't.
Every cent from Patreon, every cent from AdWords or whatever, always
And merch
goes back into the channel for you guys.
Don't forget the merch.
Forget the merch. No merch.
Don't get merch.
No, you can get merch if you want.
All right, get merch.
Only if you want.
Get merch.
Get the merch.
The merch.
Maybe.
But yeah, so we really hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. It was lovely sitting here recording with these two fine people and Joe. And
I'm extra fine. That's why he saved me for last.
I left him for last because he is extra. All right.
He's just extra.
Wow.
Yeah.
He is a little extra. But yeah, so we hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to comment Lysol chicken down below. Don't forget.
Lysol chicken.
Chicken. But yeah, so we hope you enjoyed, and we hope you have a great, wonderful rest of your life and stuff.
Because this Friday, right? I forget. All the days of the week keep blending together.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, everyone.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Good day, sir. I said good day.